Now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1725 on Saturday the 10th of September. The general synopsis at midday. Low 150 miles south of Iceland, 1008. Expected northwest Bailey, 1003 by midday tomorrow. New low expected Shannon, 1007 by same time. The area forecast for the next 24 hours. Viking, north of Sierra, south of Sierra, 40s, Cromarty, 4th. Variable 2 to 4, becoming southerly 3 to 5 later, except in Utsiras. Showers in 40s, good. Tyne, Dogger. North or northeast 3 or 4, becoming variable 2. Then south 3 to 5 later. Showers, good. Fisher, German Bight. Northeast 3 or 4, becoming variable 3 or less. Showers, good. Humber, Thames. Northerly 3 to 5, becoming variable 2. Then southeasterly 3 or 4 later in west. Showers, good. Dover, White, Portland. West or northwest 3 or 4, becoming variable 2. Then east or southeast 2 to 4 later. Showers, then fair, good. Plymouth, North Biscay. Variable 3 or less, becoming easterly or southeasterly 3 to 5. Rain or drizzle for a time with fog patches. Moderate or good, occasionally very poor. South Biscay, easterly 3 to 5. Fair, good. Fitzroy, Seoul. Southerly or southeasterly, becoming cyclonic in west, 3 to 5, occasionally 6 in west. Rain, thundery at times, fog patches, moderate or good, occasionally very poor. Dundee, Fastnet, Irish Sea. Variable 2 to 4 at first, except in Fastnet, otherwise southeast 3 to 5, veering south 4 to 6 later. Fair, then occasional rain, good, becoming moderate or good, occasionally poor. Shannon, Rockall, south or southeast, becoming cyclonic 3 to 5, occasionally 6 in Rockall, occasional rain, perhaps thundery, fog patches developing, moderate or good, occasionally very poor. Malin, Hebrides, south or southeast, becoming cyclonic 3 to 5, occasionally 6 later, fair, then rain at times, good, occasionally poor. Bailey, south, becoming cyclonic 4 to 6, rain then showers, moderate or poor, becoming good later. Fair Isle, variable 2 to 4, becoming south 4 to 6 later, rain later in west, good, becoming moderate or poor later in west. Faroes, southeast Iceland, southeasterly, becoming cyclonic later 4 to 6, occasionally 7 later in southeast Iceland. Rain at times, moderate or good, occasionally poor. That completes the shipping forecast. Now with a more general weather forecast is Ben Rich.
John, thank you. Good evening. After a week of frequent heavy downpours, today has brought fewer showers and actually lots of sunshine, especially in the north and the west of Scotland and in Northern Ireland. It has been a particularly sunny day here. There have still been some showers, and some will continue into the first part of the evening across northern England, the Midlands, parts of eastern England as well. They will mainly fade overnight, and then it is going to be a largely dry night with clear spells. A few fog patches are likely to develop. Most places will see lows between 8 and 12 degrees, but parts of eastern Scotland will turn a little chilly, maybe down to around 3 or 4 degrees in some spots in the countryside. And then for Sunday, across southeast England, the Midlands, eastern England and northeast England, it's going to be a mostly dry day with patchy cloud and sunny spells and only a very small chance of catching a shower. For southwest England, for Wales and also for northwest England, it will be dry for many, but the further west you are, we're likely to see clouds developing, and that cloud will bring some patchy rain to the far west of Cornwall, maybe Pembrokeshire, parts of northwest England as we go through the end of the afternoon. Now for Northern Ireland and for southwest Scotland, here a dry start for many, but cloud will thicken quite quickly from the west, and that will bring heavy and possibly thundery rain through the afternoon and into the evening. But for eastern and for northern Scotland, it should be mostly dry with sunny spells, and it will feel warm. In fact, southerly winds will make it feel warm for many parts of the UK. Temperatures ranging from 14 degrees in Lerwick to a high of 24 in Cambridge. That's the forecast.
BBC News at 6 o'clock. This is Vigialis. Good evening. Charles III has been proclaimed king in a ceremony at St. James's Palace in London. Those in attendance cried out, "God save the King," as the announcement was approved. Queen Elizabeth's funeral is to be held on Monday, the 19th of September. The day has been declared a public holiday. In a surprise display of unity, the Prince and Princess of Wales have appeared in public with Prince Harry and Meghan to meet well-wishers at Windsor Castle. In sport, cricket and rugby have gone ahead as scheduled today, but there's been no football of any kind, prompting sharp criticism. Also tonight, Ukraine says it seized back control of several key cities and towns from Russian forces. At a ceremony never before seen by the public, Charles III has been formally proclaimed king. More than 200 Privy Councillors, including the Prime Minister and 6 of her predecessors, attended the Accession Council at St. James's Palace in London. King Charles said he would strive to follow the inspiring example set by his mother, Queen Elizabeth. The accession was marked by gun salutes across the UK and in overseas territories, and further parades and ceremonies in London. Canada has become the first Commonwealth realm to proclaim Charles as its sovereign. Our royal correspondent Johnny Diamond was watching the ceremony in London.
Amidst the grandeur of the state apartments of St. James's Palace, an ancient ceremony opened for the first time to microphones and cameras. In the picture gallery, the clerk of the Privy Council made the first proclamation of the new king's reign.
By the grace of God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of his other realms and territories, King, head of the Commonwealth, defender of the faith, to whom we do acknowledge all faith and obedience with humble affection, beseeching God, by whom kings and queens do reign, to bless his majesty with long and happy years to reign over us.
Gathered in front of him, the Accession Council, the Prime Minister, former Prime Ministers, other senior politicians, retired and serving, the Archbishops of Canterbury and York, Prince William and the Queen Consort. Only the King was absent. Minutes later, in the throne room, the council gathered again. In came Prince William and the Queen Consort, and then the King. Nearly all wore black, those in ceremonial garb, black armbands on their sleeves. The King stood in front of a dark red throne decorated with the late Queen's cipher, the crown, and beneath it, E2R. Formally confirmed as monarch, King Charles made his declaration. He spoke first of his mother's example of lifelong love and selfless service.
My mother's reign was unequalled in its duration, its dedication and its devotion. Even as we grieve, we give thanks for this most faithful life. I am deeply aware of this great inheritance and of the duties and heavy responsibilities of sovereignty, which have now passed to me. In taking up these responsibilities, I shall strive to follow the inspiring example I have been set.
Outside in Friary Court, the King's Guard band and the Foot Guard formed up. Black busbies and scarlet tunics under light grey skies. On three sides, the courtyard is bounded by the brick walls of the palace. The fourth side was closed to passers-by this morning, but then just before the public proclamation began, a few hundred members of the public were allowed in to watch proceedings. Their T-shirts and raincoats, walking boots and trainers, a contrast to the ceremonial and morning dress within the courtyard. On a balcony overlooking Friary Court, the Garter King of Arms in golden tunic read out the proclamation, his words echoing around the stonework.
With one voice and consent of tongue and heart, publish and proclaim that the Prince Charles Philip Arthur George is now, by the death of our late sovereign of happy memory, become our only lawful and rightful liege lord, Charles III.
The colours of the Foot Guard rested on the ground, draped in a mourning banner. And as the royal salute was heard, the crowd beyond, outgathered in the Mall, made their voices heard. The Foot Guard called out their support for King Charles, their heavy black busbies rising and falling in their hands with each cry.
3 cheers for His Majesty the King. Hip, hip! Hip, hip!
And again, the cheers of the crowds beyond were heard. This ancient ceremony of an ancient crown, the formal beginning of a new reign.
It's been confirmed that Elizabeth II's funeral will take place a week on Monday at Westminster Abbey. During this morning's Accession Council ceremony, King Charles approved the day as a bank holiday. The late Queen's coffin is due to be moved from Balmoral to Holyrood House in Edinburgh tomorrow. More details from our Scotland reporter Alexandra Mackenzie.
Queen Elizabeth's oak coffin lies in the ballroom at Balmoral Castle. Tomorrow morning it will be carried to a hearse by her gamekeepers. At 10 a.m. the Queen's body will leave her beloved Royal Deeside for the last time, and the cortege will travel south to Edinburgh, passing through Aberdeen and Dundee. The coffin is due to arrive at the Palace of Holyrood House at 4 p.m. and remain there overnight. On Monday, members of the royal family will join the procession along the Royal Mile to St Giles Cathedral. There, the Queen will lie at rest for 24 hours as people pay their respects and a vigil is held. The Princess Royal will travel with the coffin on a flight from Edinburgh Airport to RAF Northolt and onwards to Buckingham Palace on Tuesday evening. The Queen will lie in state for 4 days in Westminster Hall before the funeral service a week on Monday.
Senior members of the royal family have greeted people leaving cards and bouquets of flowers outside royal residences across the country. In the last hour, the Prince and Princess of Wales appeared outside the gates of Windsor Castle, accompanied by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Dressed in black, they engaged in conversations with onlookers, shaking their hands and accepting gifts, including a Paddington Bear toy. It was the first time the two couples had been seen so closely together since Harry and Meghan moved to the United States. Dan Johnson is there.
There are thousands of people here outside the gates of Windsor Castle, and there were cheers as the 4 members of the royal family emerged. The new Prince and Princess of Wales, along with Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They stopped for a moment to look at all the flowers that have been left here, to read some of the tributes, and now they're going down the line, meeting people in the crowd, shaking hands, being handed bunch after bunch of flowers, and people have been shouting, "Sorry for your loss, our best wishes." And there are all sorts of people here from all different places, all different age groups as well. Lots of families here, lots of children witnessing this moment. And I think people are pleased to see those 4 members of the royal family together. And there's been a really interesting mixture of emotions here today. Of course, sadness, people quietly reflecting, but also a real positive buzz of energy in celebration of the Queen's contribution and her life.
Well-wishers also lined the streets at Balmoral as the late Queen's 3 younger children, including the Duke of York, returned from a church prayer service. Making his first public appearance since March, Prince Andrew thanked well-wishers, telling them that his family had started the process of handing the Queen on. The Prince of Wales has made his first public comments about Queen Elizabeth since her death, saying she was by his side at his happiest moments and during the saddest days of his life. In a statement released by Kensington Palace, Prince William said he knew this day would come, but it would be some time before what he called life without Granny would truly feel real. He also promised to support his father in his new role.